Hi. Hola.
Hi, here's Mr. Dozy.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the CR7 Nike Mercurial Vapor 10 in the latest natural diamond colorway. Now inside the box, they do come with a string bag along with the shoes. The string bag is royal blue in color with black strings. You can see it features that same pattern on the heel of the shoe at basically the bottom half where it eventually fades to solid blue towards the middle. You have a sparkly silver Nike swoosh right there in the middle. And on the reverse side, the pattern continues, of course, and then you have a sparkly CR7 logo there, also silver in color. Other than that, all you're going to find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at what I think is a really good looking colorway of the Vapor 10 that also happens to be a CR7 signature. So in this video, we are of course going to take a closer detailed look at the colorway itself because it is different in comparison to the Superfly in terms of some of the colorway elements. So I'll point those out for you in the video. We're going to go over tech specs, performance features, take a look at the weight of the shoe, as well as take a look at how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you are interested in learning more about the Natural Diamond CR7 Nike Mercurial Vapor 10, stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair for yourself, click the very first link down below in the description of this video, and that's going to take you to the review page on my website where you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $225 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now obviously, given that this is part of the Natural Diamond CR7 line, it still has the same color scheme that you're going to find on the higher end or more expensive Superfly model, which I have right here for comparison's sake. The colors themselves, for the most part, are the same, but because they are different materials, different textures, given that these shoes really aren't the same construction at all, it does have a slightly different look when you have them side by side. This looks like a slightly darker blue. This one comes across as a little bit lighter, but for the most part, you get the idea that this is part of the same line. The other main difference is on the heel area. On the Superfly 4, you can see that you do, of course, have that black pattern, but there's also the added texturing to add to that kind of pattern and the look of the shoe, where you won't find that on any of the non-Superfly variations within the lineup. So on the Vapor 10 here, as you guys can see, you still have that pattern, but it's basically just printed on the surface. There is some texturing to it, but it's not to the same extreme as what you're going to find on the Superfly. You're not actually going to be able to see it, but you can feel it to the touch. As far as the finish on the upper is concerned, it is smooth, which of course is going to be different from the Superfly 4, given that this is Teijin synthetic and not a Flyknit upper. How will that impact touch? I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video, but you can see it has this nice, almost like I want to say like a satin finish, like a dulled out shininess to it, which looks really, really good actually. It has a little bit of color changing effect depending on how the light hits the shoe. And overall, it's just a really, really nice shade of royal blue. You're going to find royal blue laces as well. The heel liner is black in color, as you guys can see. It does have the exact same insole, which we'll take a closer look at in a second. You do have a sparkly silver Nike swoosh right here on the front. Whereas on the heel area, just like what you're going to find on the Superfly, you do have your CR7 logo with the kind of CR7 silverware glitter pattern on top. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that colorway. This is just a very, very sparkly silver glitter. That's the best way to describe it, and it is embossed within the actual upper, so it looks very good actually. You have your Mercurial branding in black going down the back of the heel, and then the sole plate, as you guys can see, is pretty much black on black. It's got black tinted plastic tipped studs, but some of the studs on the inside, as you guys can see, are blue in color, which is actually pretty difficult to see in person, especially once you're wearing the shoes and they get a little bit dirty. But nonetheless, really good looking shoe, obviously still part of the same line, but a slightly different look given the different construction of the shoe. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Which one looks better to you, the Superfly or the Vapor 10 in this natural diamond colorway. I'd be curious to hear your opinions. And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. In terms of performance, the Vapor 10 is awesome. I know a lot of people view it as a takedown model behind the Superfly 4, but it isn't a takedown model. It's just an alternate variation of a high-end Mercurial. I've said this many times in the past, and I'll say it again. If you want a more traditional Mercurial experience, because the Superfly 4 really doesn't compare to anything else before it, the Vapor 10 is what you want. It has that thin Tahitian synthetic upper, and if you want a true barefoot feel on the ball, the Vapor 10 really does that better than any other shoe on the market right now. Now, we're going to go over all the details in this video, but if you guys do want as much information as possible, I'll leave an annotation on screen to my playtest video of the Vapor 10 if you want to see these things in action. So go ahead and check that video out if you haven't already. So, like I said, the main reason why you would buy these is for the barefoot feel that they provide. The Tahitian synthetic upper is super thin, it's super flexible, and despite the upper being very thin, which can generally make it feel plasticky on your foot, this is a fairly comfortable shoe. It wraps your foot very tightly, so if you don't like a tight fitting shoe, these probably aren't the best option for you. But if you want that tight fit, if you want that super thin upper, which is kind of what the Mercurial Vapor line has always been about, this is, in my opinion, their best ever variation of a Mercurial Vapor in terms of providing that type of feel on your feet. It's super thin, no extra padding on the ball, the truest barefoot sensation you can get. Plus, because it fits so tight and because the upper is so well reinforced with the internal support cage that runs from the base of the sole into the lacing system, when you pull the laces tight, not only does the shoe wrap your foot perfectly, it actually keeps your foot locked in place very nicely as well, making for an extremely responsive sensation. The shoe does also has ACC all conditions control, acting as your wet control element, and it also has this one-piece construction to the upper, which does impact the fit, something I'll talk about a little bit later in the video, but also makes for a nice consistent touch across the entire foot. There's really no overlapping materials, so no matter what part of the foot is making contact with the ball, you get the exact same feel, which is a really, really nice thing, and probably my favorite aspect of one-piece uppers in general. As far as the finish on the upper is concerned, this is pretty much completely smooth, which is different from most of the other regular Vapor 10 colorways. Is this going to have a huge impact on touch? Not really. It won't be quite as grippy on the ball, but the difference, I would say, is pretty minimal. And for most people, it's just not going to matter. So if you like this colorway, get this one. If you like a regular colorway or you just want that little bit of extra grip, maybe go for a regular colorway. But like I said, for 9 out of 10 people, I don't think the texturing is going to make a big impact on your experience with this shoe. Laces run through the middle, as you guys can see. It does have a low cut in the heel, as you would expect from a Mercurial Vapor model. Internal plastic heel counter. Smooth synthetic leather liner with a decent amount of padding, considering how light these are. Insole fully removable, here's a look at it. Mesh liner on top, perforations throughout, and it's just a single layer of this black foam that actually does have some decent thickness to it, again, given the lightweight construction of this particular shoe. The outsole, it's a compressed nylon material that's not as cool as the carbon fiber on the Superfly 4 in terms of looks, but honestly the feel is pretty much identical. It's thin, it's stiff through the midfoot, it's flexible in the forefoot, and really does provide a nice solid base for the shoe itself. And then of course you get the same Mercurial stud pattern that you're going to find throughout the entire line. That really provides good multi-directional traction on firm natural grass, kind of a staple of the Mercurial series at this point. If you've worn Mercurials in the past and like the stud pattern, you shouldn't have any issues with this one. It's right on par with all previous ones in terms of just providing really, really good traction. So that's pretty much it as far as tech specs go. Pretty straightforward shoe. Again, if you want something that's super thin, super light, and fits really tight on your foot, the Vapor 10 does that better than pretty much anything else out there at the moment. In terms of weight, the Vapor 10 is actually the lightest shoe currently on offer from Nike. It's about a full ounce lighter than the Superfly 4 in the same size. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 6.25 ounces, the equivalent of 177 grams, which, like I said, is very, very lightweight, almost a full ounce lighter than the Superfly 4. So again, if you're looking for that super lightweight feel from your shoes, also with an upper that fits very tight and it offers a pure barefoot sensation, no extra padding whatsoever. The Vapor 10 is, in my opinion, the best option out there. All right, so here is a look at the CR7 Vapors on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock blue laces that come with the shoes. And on my right foot, I have a pair of metallic silver reflective SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. Find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, like I mentioned earlier in the video, the upper is very thin and it wraps your foot very tight. There's no extra space on the inside of the shoe, and if you have really wide feet or you just don't like tight fitting shoes, these certainly are not for you. Just stay away. As far as stretching goes, they don't really give much either. For the most part, the way they fit out of the box is the way they're going to fit for their entire lifespan. But again, if you've worn Mercurial Vapors in the past and they fit you fine, you shouldn't have too many issues in the Vapor 10. I know some people don't like the one-piece upper aspect of this shoe. It does make it a little bit more difficult to put on and take off. But once they're on your feet, trust me when I say that it really does make for a more connected feel to the shoe than you can get without a one-piece upper, if that makes any sense. The shoe just wraps your foot perfectly, and like I said, there's no extra space on the inside, given that you get the proper sizing. As far as the comfort of the shoe is concerned, the upper is very thin, but it doesn't feel plasticky against your foot like I mentioned. It's flexible enough and gets more flexible after some wear time. The sole plate isn't stiff either. And again, they are surprisingly comfortable given the weight and general thickness of the upper itself. As far as, like I said, fit is concerned, very tight fitting shoe, not the best option if you have wider feet. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the CR7 Natural Diamond Mercurial Vapor 10 from Nike. Again, if you guys are interested in more info, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find the high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself. That'll give you a better idea as to how these actually do look in person. And of course, you also find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes. We'll be able to pick these up below their normal $225 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding this particular shoe, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.